That's an otter.
One of the greatest threats facing many species in Indonesia is the pet trade. Although most of this industry is legal in Indonesia, experts suggest that it may be masking a far more sinister illegal trade. Indonesian law prohibits intentional, unnecessary harm of animals, although these laws are limited compared with international standards. We visited 2 pet markets in Java in order to investigate some of these claims and establish what really goes on.
Our first market is in Yogyakarta, a fantastic city full of arts and culture. We've been told that this market adheres to strict rules of cleanliness and that everything for sale here is in fact legal.
Although much of this trade is legal, there have been cases of attacks and threats on journalists, and so we're going to try and adopt the persona of an ignorant tourist while we're going around here. Birds are by far and away the most popular pet that's kept in Indonesia. In the major cities, 22% admit to having birds as pets, which are displayed proudly in front of their homes. That means that there's a conservative estimate of about 2.8 million birds that are kept in these major cities.
Before long, we are proudly presented with a sugar glider for sale. The sugar glider is a small, arboreal and nocturnal gliding possum that has gained huge popularity as a pet in recent years. We notice a particular affinity towards nocturnal species, with large eyes and ears lending them towards a certain cute factor. Seeing them sold in such numbers draws a parallel with Western family favourites such as hamsters and guinea pigs.
In Indonesia, it is legal to own macaques like this one here. Even though they are now listed as vulnerable and babies are taken away from their mothers at just days old.
Hey, mama. Mama monkey.
Mama monkey. The juveniles are often raised as children, and then when unsurprisingly they turn into adults and they start to show aggressive tendencies, they're released back into the wild where they often die because they aren't able to fend for themselves.
Some long-tailed macaques will be forced to perform by their owners to make a small amount of money from passers-by. Although this practice is illegal, dancing monkeys can still be seen all across Java.
We've just taken a 6-hour journey over to Bandung, which is the capital of West Java, to visit another pet market, which we've been told is a little bit different to the one that we visited previously and potentially more difficult to film. This one is predominantly birds, or so we're told, but we suspect there might be some more stuff hidden behind the surface as well. So we'll just have to see what we can find.
One of the more shocking aspects of this particular market is the conditions that the animals are kept in.
Well, you've got one that's getting squashed down here.
Sleep.
Oh, it's asleep. No, it's being stuck.
Banyak ya?
Yeah, baby.
Baby. Ya. Masih baby semua.
These ones as well.
We are struck by how some of the stall owners seem to have a genuine love for their animals, even if this love is misplaced. We peer into another cage to see a very small ball of grey fur. Kopi luwak, we're told, referring to the infamous practice of harvesting coffee beans from the droppings of Asian palm civets.
And how old? How old is this one?
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Civets have now become desirable as pets, and we were quoted 500,000 rupiah, equivalent to about £26, for a juvenile. Research into these markets by Oxford Brookes University suggests that most, if not all, civets were taken directly from the wild. In one market in Jakarta, the capital of Java, over 500 civets were recorded for sale over 16 visits to the market, the majority of these being non-adults. The majority of the species in this market are the same, with the exception of the final stall we come to, the unmistakable screech of an Asian short-claw otter.
What's that?
That's an otter. Can I take a photo of the otter? Is that okay?
Sure.
Yeah?
The trend for otters as pets is thought to have originated in Indonesia and spread to Japan, where there are now otter cafes. Much like the European cat cafes, patrons can eat and drink alongside their furry companions.
Probably one of the most bleak things I've ever seen, and it was apparently the tip of the iceberg for what goes on here.
Yeah.
It's been a few weeks now since we visited the pet markets, and since then we've been able to see a number of these species in the wild, which makes it only more difficult looking back over some of this footage. Now, we're very aware that we've seen such a tiny percentage of what happens here, and there's bound to be examples of pet markets that are a lot worse and practices that are a lot worse, and examples that are a lot better as well.
It's very easy as Westerners visiting Java to cast aspersions and judgments on the practices that go on here. But the fact of the matter is that it is an industry that's been going on here forever, and people's livelihoods depend on it. Having said that, there are organisations and charities throughout Indonesia and within Java that are working really hard to either bring an end to pet markets or to change the practices that go on within them. So no one really knows what the landscape will look like for this industry in future years, but with ongoing pressure from internal charities and organisations, but also external pressure from the media and social media around the globe, we can only hope that this industry will vastly differ from what we've seen in the coming years.